I just want to say, first and foremost, thank you for the opportunity to be here. Thank you to everybody that's involved in the Camellia Bowl. From the time we arrived at the airport today, was certainly first class. That's the best police escort I've ever been involved in. There was no messing around. We got to the hotel fast and efficient. And I was pointing it out to my two boys back there and my wife. I said, "This is they're not messing around here." So very appreciative of that. I know I can speak on behalf of all of our players and our coaches and thanking our administration for just supporting us. When the invitation was extended to come and be a part of the Christmas Day game here in Montgomery, just very appreciative of our athletic director, Beth Getz, is here. Our president, President Mearns, is not able to be with us. He's traveling overseas to see his family for Christmas, but just thanking him as well, just for his support. He's always been such a huge supporter of our program. A lot of times I think there's more than one Beth Getz, more than one Jeff Mearns, because I see him at every event on campus, every sporting event, everything that involves our student athletes. So very thankful and appreciative of them. I know our guys, our football team is beyond excited to be here. You know, there was a lot of excitement and anticipation heading into this season for us at Ball State. We won our first MAC championship a year ago in 24 years. We won the first bowl game in the history of our program. Unfortunately, I was part of one of those bowl games as a player, as a student athlete. We lost the Las Vegas Bowl, my final game against Utah State, 42-33, and that still bugs me to this day. So to be able to get over that hump, to watch our players put all the work in to be able to get that done, I'm certainly proud of them. Obviously, for us this season, we've had a season of highs and lows. We've had some moments where we played some really good football, and we've had some moments where we've had some really tough challenges. But I'm very proud of our football team for finishing the season to be able to win our final game at home against Buffalo at Schumann Stadium on senior night, where there were 32 young men that were taking the field for the final time. For us to be able to win that football game, to be able to get the invitation extended to come play here in Montgomery for Christmas Day. The eruption, the excitement, I had to get them on Zoom as fast as I could when I learned the information, because I knew I didn't have enough time to try to organize a team meeting and tell them in person. But to tell you a funny story and what we're all about at Ball State, and I love hearing the analogy of family, and we all, as coaches, we treat our football team as family. And I'm thankful to have my family, my wife Charmin. We've been married for 21 years now, babe. I hope I got that right. My oldest son Carson is back there. He's 19. My son Chase is 11. My daughter's not with us. She's working, but it's also special for me because my son enlisted in the Army National Guard. And this is a great week for us as he leaves to go January 11th. For basic training, so we're going to enjoy that. But our family, but we really are a family, and not to get sappy there. Let me get back on track here, but just trying to be funny, and obviously when we learned the information about the bowl game when we were going, I still wanted to have fun with the team some way, shape, or form. So the next morning, our Chief of Staff, Byron Ellis, I think Byron's in here. If not, he's probably exhausted and tired and trying to get a nap. He's back there. That's my right-hand man. We've been together for a long time, back in the New Orleans days and all that. But, he did a great job along with our special teams coordinator that Coach Elliott acknowledged for our special teams play. But I didn't show up for the team meeting that morning. I told him I was on the phone with Beth. We were still trying to work out the details. We felt like we might have got some misleading information. We weren't for sure that we were going to be going to a bowl game. So I came down the elevator 5 minutes after the team meeting started. I had the Charlie Cardinal costume on, our team mascot. I had the costume on. I bumped my head on the elevator, obviously a little bit taller, and I didn't do a good job of accounting for the height of the elevator, so I bumped my head. I walked in the team meeting room. I bumped my head again, and I came around the corner, and I had a ball, and I just rolled it across the front of the team meeting room with the Charlie Cardinal outfit on, and the whole team just stood up and went crazy. But it's moments like that that you appreciate with your football team, because all the blood, the sweat, the tears, all the hard work that you put into it. It's moments like that that you try to tell somebody that's not in your locker room are like, what are you talking about? Why is that so funny? But when you go to work with these young men and you try to help develop them in every phase of their life, academically, off the field, in the meeting room, on the practice field, when you have a moment like that together, it makes it extra special. But I'm excited for our guys because I just finished my sixth year here at Ball State. My first game as the head football coach at Ball State was against Georgia State in the Georgia Dome in 2016. That day was a great day for the Cardinals. Coach Elliott was not there yet, but that was my first game. And certainly there's been a long time between where we were at as a football team then and where we're at right now. And I mentioned 32 seniors, and really that's what this experience here this week in Montgomery, Alabama is all about for us. These guys have put it on the line for the last 5 years, some of them 6 years, to help our program get to where it's at. I was fortunate to be part of 2 championship teams as a player at Ball State. I've been gone away. My career path took me south, for whatever reason when my playing days were over. Before I came back to Ball State as the head coach, I was in New Orleans for 13 years. But I always kept tabs on our program. I felt very strongly that we've had some championship years at Ball State. When we've had them, we just haven't been able to sustain them. So really what makes me proud is for this group of men, the 32 seniors that have been really the leaders of our program. They've been the ones that have helped set the standards by how we operate day in, day out. Being accountable, going to class, sitting in the front of the classroom, making sure you don't have headphones on, making sure your hood's down, sitting up in your chair. You're engaged with the professor when they're talking to you. When they come to the practice field, nobody shows up late. You got to be there on time. If I let you slide and come in 30 seconds late to a team meeting on your first day on your job, when you get it, if all of a sudden you get fired from that job, that's my fault because I let that slide. And those were the standards by which I tolerated, and that's not how we do it. And I'm proud of these 32 guys, and this, for us, this bowl game experience. We didn't really have that kind of bowl week experience a year ago playing in the Arizona Bowl because it was shortened due to COVID. We're going to enjoy this opportunity. We worked extremely hard on the game plan for several practices in Muncie. We wanted to make sure we attacked the game plan. We had a great week and a half of practice on the practice field to make sure that we were ready to go. We still got work to be done here during the remaining days leading up to game day, but I'm excited to share in this moment with our football team, with our program, with all that traveled with us, our donors, our supporters that have stuck with us through thick and thin, because it has not been easy. A lot of times in your life when you have a challenge, when you're presented with something and being able to attack that and show unbelievable mental toughness to attack it head on. And many of these guys in 2017, we were not a good football team. We were taking it on the chin, losing by 30 and 40 points a game, and all these young men stayed. They did not put their name in the transfer portal, which is crazy these days. They stayed, and they continued to work hard and continued to just get better and better and better. And then all of a sudden, we had a special year a year ago, and this is a special year as well for us to be able to go to a bowl game in back-to-back years for the first time. It's only happened a few times in the history of our program. So I know I can speak on behalf of our players in saying thank you to everybody involved in the Camellia Bowl. We're ecstatic to be here. We face a great opponent in Georgia State. I have a ton of respect when I turn on the tape with how they play the game, the physicality, the effort, the toughness. They have fun playing, and you can see that when you turn on the tape. I know as a head coach, I would want somebody to tell me at midfield before the game or when the ball game's over, I love the way you guys play, your effort, your attitude, your intensity, your toughness. And those are things that I tip my hat to Coach Elliott and his football team. He's done an unbelievable job. Nobody has any idea, how hard of a job to be able to get your team to 3 consecutive bowl games like that. And as he mentioned, 4 out of the last 5. That's an unbelievable accomplishment. That's a great conference, the Sun Belt Conference. A lot of respect for the way they play the game. But we're going to give it everything we have. We came down here with one goal in mind. That's to get a win. We got a lot of work still left to be done. We're going to have a great week here. We're excited about all the opportunities we have in Montgomery. And I could go on forever here, but I know I speak for all of us associated with Ball State. We're excited to be here. We're excited to be part of the Camellia Bowl. And we're excited as a program to be taking another step in a positive direction. So with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions that anybody may have. I think it just speaks to the young men in our program. And when you have young men that have gone through the growing pains that our guys have, when all the new players come into our program and they take them under their wing, and I don't even have to say anything anymore. When you hear players telling them, no, that's not how we do it, or how you carry yourself in the classroom, or how you carry yourself in the community, making social sacrifices, making sure that you're on time for a meeting. You got to be 5 minutes early. We don't start any meetings late. Making sure that when you hit the practice field, are all four of your chin straps buckled up? Are you ready to roll? And Joe, just to hear our older players in our program take pride in making sure they set the tone with young players as they arrive and they start their journey at Ball State, that's when I know that we got a chance to have an opportunity to be successful year in, year out. Everybody's good. Winning is tough. Winning is hard. I've been part of rebuilding after Hurricane Katrina with the New Orleans Saints, and to see that organization go from where it was at to be able to win a Super Bowl. Winning is hard, and it takes everybody, and it takes all hands-on deck approach, and that's what makes me most excited. Just about the support we receive from our university, the resources that have been put in place, building a brand new indoor facility that is not even a year old yet, and then having players that take pride in setting the standards to all the young players that show up. Well, it was hard. I couldn't believe that my first game ever at Ball State was in the Georgia Dome against Georgia State. My last game with the New Orleans Saints was against the Atlanta Falcons in the Georgia Dome, so I thought that was fitting. But I just remember the win and the scene in the locker room with the players. Obviously after you win, and everything's over on the field, you go to the locker room and deliver your message. But the best moment of all is when you have an opportunity to sing the fight song with your staff, with your coaches, with your players. And so I'll never forget that. And then I'll never forget the guys picking me up in the locker room. Well, to be honest with you, I love being an underdog. We were double-digit underdogs in the MAC championship game. We were double-digit underdogs in the Arizona Bowl. When you go and you put a week of practice together, you always have the approach, man. It's us against the world. We got to make sure that we stick together, whatever challenges might present themselves, whatever injuries, whatever sickness, whatever challenges present themselves. We're the ones that got to get that figured out through the week of preparation. We go to the locker room, we're getting ready to get the ball kicked off, man. Obviously, it's the guys in that locker room, it's your family in that locker room at that time that is going to have a deciding factor in the outcome of the game. So I relish that role. I love that. I've been in that situation a lot in my life. So I love that it's that way, and certainly we're ready to embrace that challenge. Without question, that has a huge impact for us in recruiting. When I first got there, I have a lot of respect for Coach Elliott. I know he played the game. As a defensive lineman, coached offensive line for a long time, so I judge our recruiting by the trenches. When you look at the recruits that are coming into our program now, the recruits that are saying yes, you can just look at the size of the young men in the trenches on both sides of the ball and tell the impact that it's made. And obviously thankful to the resources that Beth Getz and President Burns have delivered. But that, to me, obviously being able to get the back-to-back bowl games can continue to take your program to another level. And that's what we're trying to get done. It's through young men. It's through young men that not only have the skill set on the field, but are they the right kind of character? Do they have the right kind of makeup? When you talk to the high school coaches, do they have the right kind of ingredients to come in and embrace that? Hey, listen, everybody in that meeting room, they were all the best player at their respective high school. That's what helped you get here. Now roll your sleeves up and get to work. And through your work ethic, through what you put in, day out, that's what's going to determine your success. And so it's another step in the right direction for us. We got to keep building on that in the recruiting process. First of all, it's a team that when you talk about all three phases, you're going to get their best shot. They make you earn it. When you talk about they don't, first of all, obviously being an offensive guy that played quarterback and spending a lot of time in the offensive meetings, they don't give up very many big plays. They make you earn it. They tackle well. They're physical. They're extremely disruptive up front. They set the sack record a year ago. So extremely disruptive up front. When you obviously you look at them on the offensive side of the ball, they're going to get the run game established. They've done that at a high level every single week in, week out. But they can also throw the ball when they need to. They got a quarterback that obviously can hurt you both ways. It can hurt you on the ground when he takes off, and obviously it can hurt you through the air. And then obviously you talk about special teams. Just a well-coached football team. I appreciate his remarks in regards to our program, but just a well-coached football team. You know you're going to get their best shot. You're not going to catch them on a down time or a down week. You're going to make sure that when you go out there, you've got to be ready to go for a 60-minute battle. You're going to get a physical battle for 4 quarters. Well, in terms of the physicality piece of it, you go to prepare for a team like Army, and we just simply don't see very many teams like that on their schedule. So when you talk about the physicality in the trenches, making sure that you're ready to go for 4 quarters that way. When I look at Georgia State, same thing. Man. You talk about physicality. You talk about playing hard in the trenches. We're going to have to be ready to go. I've been challenging our guys ever since we found out that bowl assignment. We got to work. And I've been challenging our guys since the first day on the practice field, making sure that we got to be ready to go play the most physical game that we played all year long. And it's going to be an unbelievable challenge. Obviously, we still got a few days here. We got to make the most of our time on the practice field. He's such a great message to share with every young man who wants to be a Division I football player. This guy was a wing team quarterback in high school. He came in, he sat behind, he was our fourth quarterback. Our third quarterback just was slowly working his way up the depth chart, but so much respect for him because the time that he put in when nobody was watching, when the film room was dark, and he was in there trying to study the installs by himself and becoming a more polished passer, working meticulously on his footwork. I'm a big footwork guy. I was fortunate to work with a quarterback in New Orleans that played a long time because he took so much pride in his footwork. And so when you see him attack year in, year out the way that he's done that, and, he helped our program win a championship for the first time in 24 years, the first bowl game ever. And, he's in a different category than anybody else, and I've made sure that every season ebbs and flows, and nobody wants it more than Drew Clinton. I decided to have one more final opportunity for him to put that number 9 jersey on, represent Ball State University. My son back here, he's got a question, and I'm on the edge of my seat. Oh, you're going to bring me to tears there. Obviously, I loved where I was at in New Orleans. Who wouldn't want to be the quarterback coach in New Orleans working with a guy like Drew Brees? But when I had the opportunity to come back to Ball State, just like I tell recruits, you can't ignore the feeling in your gut. I had a lot of passion to try to help my alma mater get back to winning ways, and I knew it was an unbelievable challenge. Obviously, there's 2 ways in which you take over a program. Somebody was extremely successful and moved on to a bigger job, better job, or the program wasn't doing quite as well as it should, and there was a change made. So to come back to Ball State to try to help my alma mater do something special was a great feeling. And obviously, I feel like I'm the youngest of 8 kids, and to be able to work with college student athletes, they all want to play in the National Football League. But the reality of it is, only a select few will. So being able to work with 18, 19, 20-year-old young men, help set them up for life after football, that's a challenge. And for having them to be around my family. And so that's ultimately what motivated me to want to go back and to represent Ball State University in head coaching.